dear students, myself Gangadhar Solanke, and I welcome you all to the MCGM's virtual classroom. My dear students, today's our subject is geography, and in 8th standards geography, we are going to study about the topics which are in the field of general geography, in the field of physical geography, and also in the human geography and in practical geography. So now on the screen you can see the front page of our geography's textbook and the back page of our geography's textbook. On the front page here you can see students have studied geography from standard 3 and have now come to standard 8. So the horizon of their experience has expanded and they are now looking at experiments of their interior of the earth, and geomagnetic field. The picture is imaginary, and on the back page students doing an experiment based on shadows, then a type of migration, clouds, an instrument measuring temperature and humidity, and a small submarine surveying the marine trench. So this is what general idea about our textbook, and it gives us idea about the topics which we are going to study in geography's textbook. Now we are going to talk about the content of the textbook. So here on the screen, serial number, name of the lesson and field. So the first chapter in our geography is local time and standard time. In this topic we will discuss about the difference between the local time and standard time, and at the same time the importance of the standard time. Then interior of the earth. In this topic specially we will talk about the internal structure of the earth, then humidity and clouds, then the structure of ocean floor, and the fifth one, ocean currents. Now these 5 topics we have to study for first term, and in the second term we are going to start with land use. We will start with the land use, then population, then industries, map scale, and the last topic, field visit. So altogether 10 topics we have to study in our geography's textbook, and the first one local time and standard time, and the last topic field visit. So today we will start with the topic local time and standard time. Now these 2 words which are very important to understand this topic, local and standard. Now it is in the name only, or it is in the heading only. Local time is something which is about the local area or about that particular locality, and standard time something about which is वर्ल्ड वाइड एक्सेप्टेड और जो हर जगह पे उसका यूज़ किया जाता है. और लोकल टाइम ऐसा टाइम है कि जो किसी एक पर्टिकुलर एरिया का टाइम बताया जाता है उसमें बाय यूजिंग लोकल थिंग्स. वो अलग अलग हो सकते हैं, बट दैट विल स्टडी इन डिटेल इन दिस टॉपिक. सो हियर वी आर स्टार्टिंग. As we all know our daily routine, and now you people are in 8th standard, so you are well familiar with our daily routine, and you also people follow our daily routine in the particular time table or in particular time span we can say. And for that we get up early in the morning, then brush our teeth and take a bath, then we have breakfast and go to school. Now this is the फर्स्ट पार्ट. देन नेक्स्ट वी स्टडी इन आवर क्लासरूम्स. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जो हमारा टाइम है वो स्कूल में चला जाता है. नाउ डेज बिकॉज ऑफ कोविड-19 पैंडमिक हमारी स्कूल्स लास्ट ईयर भी खुली हुई नहीं थी, अब भी खुली हुई नहीं है. बट अगर हम डेली रूटीन की बात करेंगे उसके पहले की या फिर ये सब नॉर्मल होने के बाद की, तो हमारा ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा टाइम जो है वो स्कूल में जाता है. सो वी स्टडी इन आवर क्लासरूम्स, वी रिटर्न होम देन and we go to the playground to play in the evening. We have dinner, brush our teeth again and go to sleep. देन वी कीप डूइंग सिमिलर एक्टिविटीज़ थ्रू आउट द डे। ये हमारे साथ रोज होता है, हम उठते हैं, फिर स्कूल जाते हैं, फिर घर आते हैं, खेलते हैं, खाते हैं, सोते हैं। कंसिडरिंग आवर डेली रूटीन वी नीड टू डिसाइड द टाइम फॉर ऑल आवर एक्टिविटीज़। इसमें हम टीवी देखना भी ऐड कर सकते हैं कि हम किसी एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम में एक पर्टिकुलर सीरियल या फिर मूवी या फिर न्यूज़ चैनल अगर मम्मी पापा देखते हैं तो उनके साथ बैठ के हम देखते हैं। सो हर एक चीज़ का एक टाइम फिक्स है एंड वी फॉलो दैट टाइम। बट इफ यू टॉक अबाउट olden days, people used to take the help of various tools and also depend on various natural events for the measurement of time. Like today, उनके पास घड़ी नहीं थी समय देखने के लिए, टाइम देखने के लिए, इसीलिए एक चीज़ थी कि अंदाजे से एक डिसाइड हुआ था टाइम, उसके हिसाब से वो लोग चलते थे। आज की तरह हर चीज़ घड़ी में देख के नहीं होती थी। ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशन एंड एक्सपीरियंस they divided the day into the following parts, that is from sunrise to sunset, that is daytime, sunrise to sunset जो कि डे का पार्ट है, एंड देन फ्रॉम द सनसेट, फ्रॉम द एक बार सनसेट हो गया अप टू द नेक्स्ट सनराइज, फिर सुबह होने तक, ये हुआ नाइट। अब ये डिसाइड करने के लिए उनके पास तभी घड़ी नहीं थी, कुछ क्लॉक नहीं था, बट दे डिसाइडेड दिस ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशन एंड एक्सपीरियंस। अ होल डे meant the duration from one sunrise to the next. And earlier, if we talk about Ghatika Patra, a bowl with a minute hole at its base, here you can see minute hole at its base, which would float in a large water filled vessel, and sand timer like this, etc. were used to tell time. जनरली इन चीज़ों का यूज़ हुआ करता था एंड द टाइम वॉज नॉट एग्जैक्ट टाइम नहीं था जैसे आज हम सेकेंड्स में, मिनट में, आवर में टाइम बताते हैं। इट वॉज नॉट लाइक दैट, बट घटिका पात्र एंड सैंड टाइमर वर यूज्ड टू टेल टाइम। एंड देन आफ्टर पीपल realized, or by the studies it was proved that the earth takes 24 hours, that is one day to complete one rotation. Earth takes 24 hours, that is one day to complete one rotation. Here you can see sunrise to noon, noon to sunset, and sunset to midnight, and midnight to sunrise. So for this, earth takes 24 hours. We consider the direction where the sun rises to be the east, and as a result we experience sunrise. What we experience? Sunrise, then noon, then sunset and midnight. All these things because of the rotation of the earth, or the revolution of the earth, we can say. Earth rotates from west to east, and during rotation the longitudes in the western part face the sun gradually, and while those in the east experience darkness. Now on the screen you can easily understand this with the help of these two diagrams. The longitude which faces the sun experience sunrise. Here the longitude which faces the sun, ये जो है फेस कर रहा है सन को, तो वहाँ पर सनराइज होगा, एंड दोज इन द ईस्ट एक्सपीरियंस डार्कनेस हियर. On the other hand, the one in the darkness experiences sunset. तो ये as per the rotation चलता रहेगा. So while traveling in a bus also we often see trees, electric poles, buildings etc. outside the window, and they appear to be moving in the opposite direction. जब हम बस में ट्रैवल करते हैं एक जगह से दूसरी जगह, तो बहुत बार हमें ऐसे लगता है कि जो बाहर की बिल्डिंग्स है, बाहर के ट्रीज़ है, वो सब क्या हो रहा है, अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में वो भी चल रहा है, भाग रहा है, स्पीड में है. बट द थिंग इज दैट दे आर स्टेशनरी, वो एक जगह पर ही है. एंड आवर बस इज मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, हमारी बस क्या हो रही है, आगे 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 जा रही है. सो सिमिलरली बिकॉज ऑफ द रोटेशन ऑफ द अर्थ वी फील दैट द सन इज चेंजिंग एंड इट्स पोजिशन फ्रॉम ईस्ट टू वेस्ट डेली. असल में क्या हो रहा है, वी आर ऑन अर्थ, अर्थ सन के चक्कर लगा रही है, लेकिन हमें क्या दिखता है कि सन सुबह एक जगह है, दोपहर में एक जगह है, शाम में एक जगह है और रात में तो गायब ही है. लेकिन सन जहाँ है वही है. ये जो बस में से हमें दिखता है कि हम बस में जा रहे हैं और बाकी चीज़ें भी हमारे साथ भाग रही है. द सेम थिंग हैपन्स, जैसे हम अर्थ पे है, अर्थ घूम रही है और हमें लगता है कि सन अपनी प्लेस चेंज कर रहा है, इट्स मूविंग. नेक्स्ट थिंग टू अंडरस्टैंड, now this one is the thing which you have to do. Perform this activity in the cocoa ground on a bright sunny day and consider the following points. We'll just try to understand this. Choose the pole on the ground that stays under the sun. एक pole को choose करना है जो exactly under the sun for the whole day for this activity, and observe the direction in which the shadow of this pole falls at different times of the day. मॉर्निंग में कहाँ पर है, at 8 AM, देन 10 AM को कहाँ है, 12 को, 2 और 4. ये सब हमें ऑब्जर्व करना है. मेजर द शैडोज एंड रिकॉर्ड इन योर notebooks. After measuring this, you also have to record this in your notebooks. Now this is not possible as our schools are closed, but then after we can do this. Note the relative directions of the shadows and sun in your notebook. Now where is the sun located in the sky when the shadow is the shortest, and at what times are the shadows longest during the day. So we have to collect the information related with the pole and the shadows to understand the movement of the earth, to understand the position of the sun, and to understand the science behind the shadows. Now by this we can understand that early morning and evening were the longest. Shadows जो है, the shadows in the early morning here, morning 8 AM and in the evening at 4 PM were the longest, while those at the noon were the shortest here. Because of the change in the apparent location of the sun in the sky, the length and direction of the shadow of the pole kept changing. Why there is change in the length of the shadow? It is because the sun in the sky, or the change in the apparent location of the sun in the sky, the length and direction of the shadow of the pole kept changing. So with the help of these two figures, figure 1.1, the different locations of the sun during the day and changes occurring in the shadow, and figure 1.2, rotation and the relative location of the sun. What we understand? We understand that not only different in the shadows or difference in the length of the shadows, but we also experience that it is cooler in the morning and evening and warmer in the afternoon. Here also now you can easily understand the shadows and its length. So in the early morning and evening were the longest. Here you can see evening shadow and morning shadow, which is longest, and at the noon were the shortest, this one. Now why this is? Because of the change in the apparent location of the sun in the sky, the length and direction of the shadow of the pole, or here we can say of this person, kept changing. And now we'll talk about the local time. As soon as the sun starts moving up in the sky after sunrise. Now again one thing here which we have to understand, sun एक जगह से दूसरी जगह नहीं जा रहा है, though it is given here कि sun starts moving. sun move हो रहा है कि नहीं, the earth is moving, but we can say that as soon as the sun starts moving up in the sky after sunrise, the length of the shadow is shortest at noon. So the length of our shadow reduces when sun starts moving up in the sky after sunrise, and normally the length of the shadow is shortest at noon. As the sun moves towards the horizon in the afternoon, the length of our shadow increases again by evening. So the noon time is the same at any given longitude across the earth. Now we are moving towards our point, local time. The noon time is the same at any given longitudes across the earth. That is from the North Pole to the South Pole. North Pole, South Pole. Again I am repeating the sentence. The noon time is the same at any given longitude. किसी भी दिए हुए longitude पे ये same है across the earth, that is from North Pole to the South Pole. So the time of a place as decided by the location of the sun. Time of a place as decided by the location of the sun in the sky is known as local time. So local time is decided by the location of the sun. किसी भी जगह का लोकल टाइम जो है वो सन की लोकेशन को देख के, सन की पोजीशन को देख के डिसाइड किया जाता है. सो लोकल टाइम इज इक्वल टू पोजीशन ऑफ द सन. टू अंडरस्टैंड और टू कीप इन माइंड, ईजिली अगर हमें याद रखना है, समझना है, तो हम ऐसा कह सकते हैं कि लोकल टाइम इज इक्वल टू लोकेशन ऑफ द सन. But now there is problem when we talk about the local time in the regions lying in between the polar circles and the poles. Polar circles and the poles, the daytime could be more than 24 hours depending upon the season, and as a result of this, understanding the timings of sunrise, noon, sunset and midnight at these places becomes important. At the poles, the daytime and the duration of the day lasts around 6 months, and to tell the time of sunrise or sunset at the poles, one has to consider the date. हमें date का सहारा लेना पड़ता है. And when the sun rises on a specific day, it moves around the horizon, and therefore here the length of the shadow cannot be considered for telling the noon time. तो असल जो है प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पर क्रिएट हो रहा है, and that is why we need standard time. Why we need standard time? या फिर दुनिया के सभी साइंटिस्ट एक साथ बैठ के उन लोगों ने एक स्टैंडर्ड टाइम क्यों डिसाइड किया? फॉर द बेटरमेंट ऑफ द our daily routine or our daily business, because when we are dependent on the sun for the time, तो उसकी पोजीशन के हिसाब से और जितना हम अलग अलग जगहों पे जाएंगे, it will change. So different longitudes have different timing for sunrise, noon and sunset. अलग अलग longitude पे अलग अलग टाइम है, and when it is noon at Mumbai, it wouldn't be the same at Kolkata. Now we are exactly at our point. Different longitudes have different timings for sunrise, noon and sunset. For example, when it is noon at Mumbai, it wouldn't be the same at Kolkata. अगर मुंबई में दोपहर है तो कोलकाता में दोपहर ही होगी, ऐसा नहीं है, बिकॉज कोलकाता लाइज टू द ईस्ट ऑफ मुंबई एंड इट वुड ऑलरेडी बी आफ्टरनून इन कोलकाता. मुंबई से पहले वहाँ पर आफ्टरनून है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल हियर सनसेट, सनराइज, बिकॉज ऑफ द डिफरेंस इन लॉन्गिट्यूड. हियर ऑल्सो यू कैन सी मुंबई एंड कोलकाता डिफरेंस. The local time of a place on the earth's surface is determined with reference to its noon time. This implies that places lying on the same longitude have the same local time. अगर एक ही longitude पे places है तो वो समझना और एक लोकल टाइम को डिसाइड करना ईजी है, बट देयर इज़ नो डिफ़िकल्टी व्हेन लोकल टाइम इज़ यूज्ड फॉर स्मॉल एरिया. इफ द एरिया इज स्मॉल, लोकल टाइम उस लोकल एरिया में सब जगह एक ही होगा. बट व्हेन पीपल लिविंग इन अ लार्जर एरिया अक्रॉस different longitudes have to interact with each other, then using the local time could lead to the chaos and confusion, and in such cases using the local time is not convenient. क्योंकि एक बंदा इधर से बोलेगा कि हाँ यहाँ पे दोपहर हो गई है, दूसरा वाला वहाँ बोलेगा कि नहीं यहाँ शाम है, तीसरा कोई और बोलेगा कि नहीं यहाँ तो अभी सुबह ही है. सो ये कन्फ्यूजन बहुत ज़्यादा क्रिएट हो सकता है जब हम अलग अलग लॉन्गिट्यूड्स की बात करेंगे. इफ़ द लॉन्गिट्यूड इज सेम, नो इशू, क्योंकि वहाँ पर लोकल टाइम सेम रहेगा, पोजीशन ऑफ द सन जो है वो सेम रहेगी. बट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द पीपल लिविंग इन अ लार्जर एरिया, देन इट may create chaos and it may create confusion among the people. Next thing, then how to consider or calculate the local time of different longitudes. The earth takes almost 24 hours to complete one rotation, that is 360 degree. This one is 360 degree, not 3600. The earth rotates by 360 degree into 24 hours, that is 15 degree. Again this is 15 degree in 1 hour around its own axis. So we can say that the earth takes 60 minutes to complete 15 degrees, which means 4 minutes to cover 1 degree. And this means that for each degree of longitude the local time differs by 4 minutes. अगर हम दो longitudes की बात करेंगे तो दोनों में difference जो है time का वो कितना होगा, 4 minutes का. Okay, now we'll see this with the help of example how to solve. Here is 2 examples are given. First one, Mashhad, a town in Iran, is located on the 60 degree east longitude, and when it is 12 noon at Greenwich, then calculate the local time of Mashhad town. Now we have statement that the each degree of longitude the local time differs by 4 minutes. So our statement is, as we move towards the east of the prime meridian, the local time increases by 4 minutes for every longitude. So the difference between the longitude of Greenwich and Mashhad is 60 degree. Difference in local time 60 into 4 is equal to 240 minutes. So 240 minutes divided by 60 minutes is equal to 4 hours. So the time which we get, this implies that the time at Mashhad would be 4 in the noon. This is how you can solve the examples based on this. One more, Manaus city in Brazil is located on 60 degree west longitude. What would be the local time at Manaus when it is 12 noon at Greenwich? Again, as we move towards the west of the prime meridian, the local time decreases by 4 minutes. When we talk about the first example, there the local time increases by 4 minutes, and here the local time decreases by 4 minutes for every longitude, because we are moving towards the west of the prime meridian. So the difference in longitudes between the two poles 60 degree, total difference in time 60 into 4, that is 240 minutes, and 240 divided by 60 minutes is equal to 4 hours. So our statement is, as Manaus is located to the west of Greenwich, the local time of Greenwich is behind of Greenwich time by 4 hours. So when it is noon at Greenwich, it would be 8 in the morning at Manaus, because decrease हो रहा है. Next thing, now this one is the figure given in our textbook, and we have studied that the local time is different in different parts of the world. The daily routine of the people there is determined according to the local time in those places, and the figure shows the local times of different longitudes. What it shows? It shows the local times of different longitudes. If you people observe it carefully, then you can see timings here, noon, 12, and then the next. So study this map and answer the following questions. Use the relation between degrees and time for this, which just now we people studied. And the questions here: between which longitudes does the region experience daytime? Between which longitudes does the region experience daytime? You people observe this very carefully, and then you can answer for this. 90° west here and 90° east, 90° west and east. Then the second question: which longitudes experience noon and midnight respectively? Noon भी है और midnight भी है. So it is 0° longitude, 0° longitude. Here you can see noon, and 180° longitude. Here 180° longitude. Next one: Edward from New Orleans is on which longitude? Here you can see 90° west long. What is the time at Accra city? So for this you have to calculate, and by that you can say the time. It's 12 noon there. Then next one, for this again and again I am repeating the same thing. You have to observe the figure carefully, and then with the help of your textbook you can study this and answer the questions. At the same time, what is Sharad from Patna? Here at the same time, what is Sharad from Patna and Akito from Japan doing? What time is it in these cities? So here you can see and observe. Here Sharad and here it is Tokyo. So it's 5:30 p.m. Here you can see, and it's 9:20 near about. And the last question: select any one longitude, calculate the local time of the longitudes lying 1 degree to the west and east of this longitude. And now in the next session of this lecture, we'll study about the standard time.
Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get notifications.
So my dear students, this is all for today. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, take care.